welcome to the A station of the podcast corner of the OCSC event. And I'm thrilled to have Mr. Evangelos, the Senior Communication Lead from the EIT Digital Master School.
Perfect. Thank you. Lovely to be here in a nice atmosphere.
Thank you
for the
being
invitation.
here with us. And could you tell us what does EIT stand for?
Sure. First, to start with, to make it simple, we are not a university, but we represent a lot of European universities. And what the students actually can do with us is that they study in 2 years in 2 universities in 2 different countries in Europe. But actually, as a side tip, they have the opportunity to visit up to 5 of them in 2 years. So it's a really, really cool program. The program, I mean, our name stands for, in our name you have digital, so it's all about digital technologies. So robotics, cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, semiconductors, the microchips are really, really useful nowadays, and many other fields. They can study those with us, but so far that is what we call Erasmus. So why we're not Erasmus, some would wonder, is because we are actually on top of that offering a minor in innovation and business. So people come to us, students come to us to study a master's in technology, innovation, and entrepreneurship. So that is what EIT Digital Master School is about.
Wow. And how do you encourage entrepreneurship into the real life classroom?
Well, first of all, people are born with certain skills, and with that we see it already from when people are approaching in our booth, for example, like today. So it's all a matter of skills, soft skills like leadership, curiosity, being out there, actually being like on top of what you're doing, and not necessarily being deep in research, because at the end of the day, when you create a technology, is about the use of it, about finding the business, having the business acumen to put it out there. So it's a matter of skills, and what we do throughout the program. So as I said, up to 5 countries in 2 years. Why 5 countries? Because actually we mix those students. People come to us, they choose their 2 universities, but over those 2 years, they have the opportunity to mix not 1 or 2, 3 times with the other students on the other departments and the other universities in different locations in Europe. So what we do when those people come together is that we give them real life business cases. So EIT Digital is not a university, but is an association of universities, research, and corporates and startups, as a matter of fact, small and medium enterprises. So from all those areas, all those actors, we take real life examples and we feed them to our students. So students from cybersecurity, they work next to one and another with robotics, and they try to solve real life problems. So this is actually how they get used to solving problems and putting them out there in the market for us to use.
So it's not just the learning, but it's leadership, it's character building, and it's learning more about the world problem and how to solve
and
it
by
as
doing,
well.
And by doing, and also doing it in teams, which is very important in business, because nobody ever founded a business by themselves. So usually the most important choice of the one of the co-founder. And actually, as part of the program, especially coming from a non-European country, is very interesting, because you can actually meet your founder while you're at the program. Why is it important? One would wonder, because it opens you more markets. So naturally, you would be able already to scale your company in multiple locations, multiple countries. So already, bigger market.
So students get to work with private and government sectors in different countries as well?
Totally. They get exposed to our ecosystem of partners, the big corporates like Bosch, that you know well, but other companies like STMicroelectronics, which is creating actually semiconductors, and they're exposed to the real problems, the cases that they really need to solve, and potentially also hired by them immediately on the spot. So that's something actually a unique selling proposition for our program, that almost 99% of our students actually get a job before graduation, which is great.
Because you've been preparing them,
of course,
since the
connecting
beginning.
Them, connecting them to corporates, industry.
And how do they benefit from being in Europe as a whole?
Well, as I said, they are experiencing Europe. Europe is about diversity, and already they're exposed to more than 2, I would say, cultures. So that is already actually a great lesson in life. I mean, being able to adjust in more than 2 countries in 2 years is actually not everyone can do that. And for sure, you take a lot of skills out of that. You get a lot of resilience, for example.
Culture and languages.
Correct. Well, our program is full in English across all geographies, but indeed, in the local markets, you might want to learn the language, for example.
Yes, so there are opportunities, just
Totally.
not inside the classroom,
Totally.
but outside of the
Totally.
classroom as well.
Totally.
And could you share some of the success stories of the alumni?
No, we have a lot of success stories. I mean, we try to obviously, I guess the most interesting would be the ones that you can actually quantify. So I'll bring one example since we're actually in Asia. We'll bring one example of Asian students that we had. Actually, is a group of two Chinese students we had back in more than 10 years ago at the beginning of the program already, where being exposed, when they joined our program, actually they didn't really think of becoming entrepreneurs. It was really early time, so they were thinking of just getting a simple job, actually staying in Europe. But due to the exposure to our program, and after a fair like this one that they basically experienced coding for, the gap in the market of coding for very young children, they had the idea of opening their own company, and actually this company at this moment is valued at 300 million or something like that, and they're entering the Hong Kong stock market soon. So that's actually a very, very nice example. There are many more.
So one day, let's say if they do the startup or they have their own venture, and how do the universities or the program support them?
Of course,
after graduate or during
that is actually
graduation.
what we are offering next, of course, to the universities, because students do become alumni of the university they choose, but on top of that, they get access to our support. Our support is, of course, is support in terms of coaching, mentoring. We even have sessions that we offer to them to actually pivot from an idea to the first venture, and then first venture to scale. And we can even eventually offer the opportunity for them to access new markets. We've been recently, for example, in Dubai, in the Emirates, taking some of our companies there. We have an office in Silicon Valley, so there's a lot of opportunities for them, also beyond Europe.
Well, I feel lucky for the students, and if the parents and students are interested, could you briefly walk us through the application process and how to join your program?
Well, I will not lie to you. The program is quite selective. So we receive more than 5,000 applications per year, and the spots we have at this moment at around 300. So highly selective. Of course, the universities we work with are the top European universities. I'll mention a few here. We have actually KTH from Sweden. We have Aalto University of Finland. We have Politecnico of Milan from Milan. So very top universities, very selective. But we choose those 200, 300 people roughly based on mostly, obviously, their bachelors of science already that they have on computer science, engineering, but mostly I would say on their motivation. And motivation they demonstrate by in a way of a written cover letter, but also on a 2-minute video where we actually try to get them to inspire us. So they need to inspire us on what they will do following the masters and what actually is their not necessarily concrete goal, but the motivation for the future. So, and you'll be surprised. Actually, people get a lot of points based on that video, short video.
Wow. So it's not just academic that you're looking for, but you're looking for the character and
soft skills.
Yes, and how they are as a human being as well.
Totally.
Wow.
Totally.
And doing this program, students, what is the longest period of time that students can join the program?
So
just the 2 years?
This is a master's program, indeed, master's program of 2 years. Usually I can give you a bit of highlights of how it works, actually.
Yes.
So normally, since there are multiple universities, normally the beginning is around September, October. And basically by October, beginning of October, most students have reached their original entry year university. And what we do for them, as I said, we incorporate innovation, entrepreneurship, and real-life business cases throughout the program. We do already from the kickoff, and the kickoff is sometime in October. Students then are dispatched to their universities, back to their universities. They do their full year there, and then the second year another university. But in between, the program doesn't stop. So in the summer, actually, we have a summer school where they're exposed yet another time to real-life cases from companies, but most importantly, they mix once again on different topics across Europe with fellow students. So again, interdisciplinarity, skills, teamwork comes into play. And as I said, originally they have the opportunity, if they're lucky, to visit up to 5 countries. How is that? Because then when they graduate, we bring them to another location altogether. So I'll give you an example. So this year, the kickoff in October was in the Polytechnic of Bari. Bari is actually a city in the southern of Italy, southeast of Italy. And then we are going next week actually to Sophia Antipolis. Sophia Antipolis is a very big tech hub in France, in the south of France. So very nice locations for students to explore as well, but mostly network.
There's so much opportunities for them.
Totally.
Yes. And could you share with us some of the notable programs that are popular among the students that join the EIT?
Well, I'll give you the popular and the trending topics. So actually I bring them here with us. So popular would be the oldest programs we have actually is on cybersecurity, data science, and human-computer interaction and design. Very popular among females actually. They're super interesting. Computer interaction and design. How we actually interact with the computers.
Oh, please elaborate more on that.
Well, it's usually, I cannot do much because I don't have a technical background, but the people that actually have studied that, they would know. It has to do a lot of augmented reality, virtual reality, the virtual world, but also the interaction with platforms. So how things appear. And think about user centricity. And actually on the other side, we have really new hot topics, like for example, clean and efficient chips, microchips, because it's a hot topic nowadays. We have high performance computing, all these data centers that our data is stored, they're connected actually to the network, and we care about those networks. And the third one actually that I brought here is on emotion AI, that computer scientists would think I'm crazy because it doesn't make any sense to them. So it's actually something that is called affective computing.
Wow.
So
these are very, very new topics, and so
forward thinking.
Yeah, very leading programs that I've heard so far.
Correct.
Wow. And
well, we're not the experts, but I hope if some students are out there and they're interested, they should know where to come by now.
If they like to know more, they definitely can come see you.
EIT Digital Master School.
Yes, and they can look up online as well.
Totally.
Wow.
All the options are there because, as I said, 2 European universities, 2 years, 2 countries. There's a lot of choice for them, and they have to be smart on how they, place their bets.
And how do they prepare if they want to join the program? In terms of what qualities or set of skills are you looking for in a good candidate? That 300 of the students.
It would be mostly these soft skills I mentioned: intercultural communications, team spirit, communications overall. Actually, in business, a business acumen. So that would be what I would suggest to focus on, and also do prepare well the countries that they would actually to focus on, because there's a lot of choice. It's easy for someone to get lost. So they should always start from the inside, what they would like to do in life, what they would like to achieve, and not necessarily be misled by sometimes reputation or other factors that are not necessarily the most critical for them. Start enlisting their values and focus on the top 3. For example, I saw just outside, you surveyed people, and really people focus on culture and intercultural spirit in their studies, not necessarily reputation. That was a surprise because it's not across the world the same. So that's already a good sign.
But there's a good way to explore as well.
Totally.
Yes, and our time is really short today. Thank you for sharing with us insights on your program, and I'm sure students and parents benefit so much from this session.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. Much appreciate.
Let me wrap up a little bit for the audience. ค่ะก็ขอบคุณสำหรับวันนี้นะคะน้องๆสามารถที่จะไปหาข้อมูลเพิ่มเติมนะคะสำหรับ EIT ได้แล้วก็ถ้าอยากจะมาคุยกับเจ้าหน้าที่นะคะเป็นการส่วนตัวเนี่ยก็สามารถมาร่วมที่งาน OCST ได้เลยค่ะขอบคุณมากค่ะ